Yeah, you already know what it is. The old fam 790, your social media choice, aka the on additional podcast, and Captain Broil, Banner, Bruder, I'm a Phillips, Sticky the Dragon Steamboat, Pod Champ Pod, God's favorite podcast, the Potty Piper. I'm here to podcast, chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of 10 nice, but that's not why you're here. I had a world champion in the house, y'all. I got a world champion in the house, and I do this better than 90% of you niggas. So I am on top of the world. Good gosh, that's a beautiful title.
You just do what it is you do, baby. I just got this up. I'm just holding it up.
Hey, you know something, Suge. When I get you in the house, man, I just feel like we're out here. You're just podding, man, and there's no brakes on the car, but we're going downhill and it's very fast, but there's no trees, so ain't nothing gonna stop us. Shout out to Shelton Benjamin. I got Suge D, the Pan-Afrikan World Diasopra World Champion in the house. What's going on, brother? How are you?
13 defenses. 13 defenses.
Lucky number 13.
I forget how many days. I think we done crossed over 500. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. But nah, things have been cool. It's just been busy, man. Like a matter of fact, the weekend that you're talking about, I'm checking my calendar now. The weekend that we're talking about coming up, before I even get to y'all, I gotta go to Berwyn, Illinois, to do 2 out of 3 falls with the Black Wrestlers Matter champion, Myron Reed. And then I got to make that drive from Illinois to Maryland for y'all so I can handle this Andino business. I ain't going to let nothing stop me from getting him. I got to see him. I've been wanting to see him for a minute, so I'm not going to let nothing.
He's been talking.
And then, what's it called? Then I make my way to Athens, Georgia for Classic City Wrestling. I could give me a little stop on the way back.
Okay.
Monday.
So we'll get to wrestling, y'all. I'm sorry. I love wrestling. You know what I'm saying? You see these, these little trinkets in the background, and you know what I mean? You see
it'll be there.
Yeah. We lost a legend.
Oh yeah, man.
The gentleman who coined the phrase New Jack City, New Jack Swing. I'm trying to figure out the place why, but he was a filmmaker, right? I believe.
That's correct. And filmmaker and writer.
Right, writer. Well, all right, let's
take your time. Take your time, man. You good?
What do you do? Because every time we get here, we talk about New Jack Swing.
Of course.
We talk about New Jack City. I slander the movie every single time we talk about it. Listen, New Jack Swing is the very first bootleg movie I ever watched. Right? Rest in peace, my Uncle George. We over Uncle George's house over Pioneer City. You know what I'm saying? And put the tape in and see the little, is people in the crowd in front of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we sit there and we watch cinematic history. But I don't know if we watched the mastery of cinematic arts there. Do you remember the first time you saw New Jack Swing? I mean, New Jack City, I'm sorry.
Ooh, VHS tape, mom's collection. Like, I was watching a lot of stuff. Like, I grew up with a single mom. So we was watching just a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have been watching when I was watching it, but it's not like she wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I saw what I saw when I saw it. But Barry Michael Cooper,
mm-hmm.
huge deal. And I mean, in film circles, they refer to his big three, as the Harlem trilogy, because that's New Jack City,
mm-hmm.
that's Sugar Hill,
that's one of them ones.
And all of them had crazy soundtracks. All of them were, I've actually been going back and just watching a lot of different black films in general. I saw Posse the other day. I went back and watched Posse the other day.
Yo, so the problem with Posse is you can't You can't put that on if mom's in the house. The very first scene, there's a whole lot of you know. So, but yes. Shout
Sure.
out Posse. You know what I mean? Zeus,
All I'm
Ice
getting at
T.
with that is like, there was a period for a while where, like, when the black exploitation films were out, we were really trying stuff and whatnot. And then, like, it's the '80s was the '80s. It was what it was. But in that early '90s, we was really out there trying to like retake our lane back a little bit. So that's where the Boomerangs of the world. That's where, of course, New Jack City. New Jack City was like, you could easily refer to that as like Black Goodfellas or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
that's an important movie. Not just the actors that were in it, but the fact that like Nino Brown is up there with any great crime figure, like Nicky Santoro, or like any of the characters from The Godfather, or this, that, and the third. Like, Nino Brown is like, you ain't gonna talk about superstar drug dealers, fictional superstar drug dealers anyway, without talking about
Yeah.
Nino Brown.
I feel like Nino Brown is the Rocky statue of drug dealers. Now, this isn't because it's Rocky statue is a big deal. If you
Yep.
go to Philadelphia, a lot of folks go downtown and they take a picture next to that statue. At the same time, it's a statue of a fictional character because it's a city that really likes character. Shout out Philadelphia. So I also feel like it's the legend being bigger than the actual character. Nino Brown has some slick lines, but the best characters have redeeming qualities, right? Like the best bad guys, like Thanos, your was Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther,
Oh, Killmonger.
Killmonger. Like those guys are legends in that they were somewhat right. Shout out to Lovely, you know what I mean, something else. Um, Nino was ill in the fact that he had no redeeming qualities.
Oh yeah, he embraced all the fuckery. I mean, he really did. Down to I don't care nothing about that whole bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, he even had to go get her. He wanted it and he got it. Like,
Yeah, she was
and,
lousy too.
and
Like, all right, let me ask you a question.
ah,
Who do you love from New Jack City? Like, what character in New Jack City you like? Man, this guy just was really just like, man, I appreciate this guy, and just like he was great. I hated everybody. I don't like Ice T in that movie. Yeah, right. Like it's business, right? Never put like he was an undercover cop. He wasn't nice. He got he got Chris Rock killed. Like nobody, you don't leave that movie with someone to love.
hey, incorrect.
Okay.
It's two
Okay.
characters.
Okay.
Two characters. Dutter Man. Like, that was the lovable sidekick. Dutter Man is the lovable sidekick. He like don't nobody know nothing. Dutter. He just Dutter was there just to look dumb and stupid most of the movie, and just he was lovable. He was a lovable sidekick. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Dutter Man and old girl, like
Keisha.
you're a murderer, Nino. I've watched you kill too many people, Nino.
She was wildly annoying. As someone who was right, that got done dirty. What was your favorite? Like you like, oh, I do like Shorty. Shorty was cool. No, she got done dirty. You felt bad for her, I guess, but you didn't love her. You don't care. You don't care. I hate the commissioner because look at his mustache and hair. I hate Mario Van Peebles because none of his
Wow.
scenes make sense. Chris Rock robbed this nigga at the beginning of the movie, and then he was doing them weird jumping jacks in that suit that he had on from Oak Tree. I listen. There's so many. Listen, the one thing that I 100% completely agree with. New Jack City is an important movie.
Of course. Matter of fact, leads me to the story we were talking about before we started recording. Watch how I make everything connect.
Let's go.
If there's no New Jack City, you lose one of the most. It might have went by a different name, but it wouldn't have had the name. You lose one of the most important series in hip hop history in the Carter, because the Carter was named after the Carter Project houses from New Jack City. Like the influence of New Jack City goes so crazy if you start tracing it back to things. But it's so influential that people forget where it comes from. Because, like, for instance, the table scene from Martin.
Yes.
That's so funny on its own. People forget where that really came from. And New Jack City. The reason I bring up the Carter.
Yes.
The reason why I bring up the Carter. All right. First of all, I'm glad the Super Bowl is over, because I'm tired of hearing people cry about Lil Wayne. I'm tired of people crying. I'm tired of it. Okay, Lil Wayne would have passed out in the first 45 seconds of trying to get a performance. It would have got to that whole song. Like, don't stop. He would have passed out. He would have passed out. Okay, like I'm tired. I'm tired of people defending that. Now, I have a very love-hate relationship with Lil Wayne, but one of my favorite stories ever is Lil Wayne related. So what people don't know about me is, I think the last time I got busy in a big setting, when I was on the Jericho cruise, I DJ'd a party on the boat. As far as it goes, I DJ, I spin, I get the little,
I was not aware.
I get down. I love it. So this is why I like music so much, because sometimes I'm piecing stuff together, like, oh, that would mix with this, and that's where this sample comes from, and yada yada. I like that. So around this time, this is around the time, gather around, boys and girls, of the bootleg man. Streaming killed the bootleg man, especially the CD, especially the bootleg CD man. Streaming killed that killed a whole segment that was so necessary. Like, you didn't just go to the gas station for gas. You had to go see bootleg man. You had to go see the CD man. He had all the new stuff, right? So there was a little album everybody was waiting for around that time. It's called the Carter 3. Now, at the time, I was working at a call center to not be named. While I was there. Yeah, I was supporting my wrestling habit. Yeah, I was supporting my wrestling habit with the call center habit. They was getting on my nerves, and I was using that for influence later on the weekends to, to lump somebody's head. So the bootleg man finally did it. It's like you did the pre-order. Our bootleg man at that call center was so sophisticated, he took pre-orders. It was great. So he come to your cube and be like, hey, man, I know you be out here at these parties, so I got something I know you're going to need. And I'm like, what's up? He had that Carter 3. Now, for the real ones around that time, everybody knows that the bootleg version that came out before the Carter 3 actually dropped on CD is a completely different album than the one that actually dropped on CD, because there's some tracks that didn't even make it. There's some cuts of the songs that ain't even the same. So technically, to get the full story, you have to have the bootleg and you have to have the album one, which I do have both. So I got it. I didn't listen to it. I just sat on it because I was like, it hasn't come out yet. It's such a big deal. I'm so scared of this not living up to my expectations. But I eventually caved in and I listened to it in the car. It was like that. I had a house party to DJ later that night. Went to the house party, doing my thing, just dropping some stuff down. And then one of the people in the house party comes up to me and like, hey, man, I just wanted to know if something was true. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? You got that Carter 3? I'll be like, I might. He's like, is it like that? I was like, I don't want to ruin it for you, man, or anything like that. He said, you know what? Don't even play it. Don't play nothing from the Carter 3 tonight. Like, please don't do it. I got to wait till the CD come out. I was like, and I understand that. About an hour went by. People was mixing their drinks and smoking it, and doing all this and everything, getting
Smoking
right.
smoke.
You know how it
Gang
goes.
banging.
About 5 people came up and they said, I know what we said about that Carter 3 earlier. Go and play it, man. Go and play. I like, are you sure? Because we can't unbottle this. We can't put it back on the bottle once we start playing. Go ahead and play it. So I put it in. I let it go. And it was one of them things where I heard some of the tracks. I ain't hear the whole thing myself. So I was hearing a lot of the back half stuff myself. But I ain't mixed nothing. I ain't scratched nothing. I just let it play. This was basically became a listening party. Right?
Wow.
By the time we hit a milli, stuff was super turned. Like everything, oh, we all experiencing this at the first time. You know what I'm saying? And I remember this vividly because it was around the time we got the Mrs. Officer. The girls started getting loose and everybody, everybody pairing off and doing what they doing. We, all that good stuff. And, the party's up. Everybody's feeling good. I'm feeling good because I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody having a good time. I'm glad we all come together. Suddenly, up against the door, Vince, y'all ain't gonna know his last name, but Vince, the purveyor of the house party, he's like, hey man, turn it down. That's the cops at the door. So I turn it down a little bit, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm like, there must be somebody calling about noise or something like that. He said, look, we need you to go to the door. I'm like, why I gotta go to the door? This is your house. He like, you the only one that ain't fucked up right now, because I don't smoke and I don't drink. He's like, you the only one that ain't fucked up right now, man. And I'm like, all right, I'll go talk to him. I bring the music down. I go to the door. Officer outside the door. He just out there chilling and whatnot. He's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, what's going on, brother? He's like, yeah, what's going on, man? Like, how you living, all this stuff like that. He said, you know why I'm here, right? Yeah, we probably being too loud. Oh yeah. We didn't got a phone call or two. Like y'all being real loud in there. Y'all wilding. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I'm the DJ here right now and everything. That's on me. I probably got too excited or whatever it is. I will make sure to keep the noise at an acceptable level. He like, all right, I'm gonna go, but I need to ask a question. Let me get the camera right so it can look like I'm talking to you when I say this. I'm like, what's up, officer? You was playing Wayne in there? Yeah, I was playing Wayne in there, officer. Was that Carter 3? Yes, Mr. Officer.
No, you wasn't supposed to say yes there. You were not supposed to say yes. You're supposed no, sir, that's not out yet. I would not. So I'm not supposed to have
I wasn't
like
taking
that.
no chances. I wasn't taking no chances. The fact that he even knew who Wayne was, I'm like, all right, let's be on the level. It's like, he's like, and I know he smelled that smoke from outside the door. I ain't let him in, but it's like, I know you smell it. Everybody in there, like, I'm just trying to. I'm saying whatever I gotta say so we can get this. We can keep this evening moving without incident. And it's like, yeah, man. He's like, it's like that, ain't it? I'm like, man, this shit awesome right now. We ain't even got halfway. You got another. You got one to say. I just hold on a second. I went back to my table and got the burnt copy that I made just as a backup in case something went. And I just slid that over. He like, all right, man, keep the noise down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you have a nice evening.
Wayne was such a big deal around that time. You could bribe an officer with a burnt CD, not even a real one, a burnt CD of the Carter 3, and he just leave it be. I know he was riding clean. I know he was riding clean that night. I know.
I feel like that officer might have had a bag when he got home. He was one of them ones. He like confiscated. I'll take that off your hands. I mean, you could go to jail, or I could take this with me. It's up to you. I mean, you come back to the station, you want to claim whatever you had in your pocket, or I could just take this and you go on about your business. Take what?
I don't have to file it as evidence.
Yeah, take what, sir? I don't know what you're talking about. No idea.
What's like? What's the Frank Lucas? It's like, let's just say I left a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like I left a bag. So you the officer that turned in the money, huh? He's like, I just want to know. I'm not gonna ask you no questions about the bag. I just want to know if you do that again. That was a lot of car payments, a lot of child support, a lot of mortgage payments ago. I just want to know if you do it again. You just tell me the place. I'll leave a car, be back in the trunk, real easy. We can just let this go, and that's how it was. But I won't let people act like Wayne's influence weren't like that, because that was the biggest CD. It felt like the biggest thing in the earth when that came out, enough for the cops to know what was going on around that time too. But we are a far cry from that Wayne in the present. That's all I'm saying. Y'all gonna have to let that go. Y'all gonna have to let the memory go and just accept what is. That's not the Wayne that we got.
So,
Which,
all right.
remember I said full circle? We tie it all
Mm-hmm.
together. Which I see what you're doing right now, because
Mm-hmm.
is the memory of New Jack City stronger than the actual film?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's close. I think of the trilogy that you mentioned, it is the biggest in name, but the worst movie there.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Because, all right, movies are things and movies do things, right?
Okay.
What New Jack Swing is, or I'm sorry, I keep saying New Jack Swing.
It's fine.
What New Jack City is way more important and way better than what New Jack City. I'm sorry, what New Jack City did is way more important than what it is as a movie. It opened that door, amazing soundtrack. This is what, 1990,
Oh yeah,
91.
heavily stylish film, like super
Yeah,
stylish. The dialogue was, crazy.
yeah. Rockabye, baby.
Yeah.
Sit your flat out. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. However, when they ran in Nino house at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, it's dead of night. You know what I mean? Remember he talked to a little shorty on the bench. He was like, I hope you kill this dark hearted. Like, it was dark. And then when he threw him out the building, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. There's a lot of things that just don't make sense when you watch New Jack City. It's just so many things. Listen, I love like the A-Team and Knight Rider when I was a kid. If you go back and watch it now, you'd be like, hold on, wait
Oh
a
man,
minute.
that's hurtful. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But I do get what you're saying. It's like some stuff doesn't age. Like the memory is way stronger than what it is when you watch. Like, uh, I'm not a paid. I'm gonna start with this. This is what all paid spokespeople say. I'm not a paid spokesman for this, but Tubi has had one of the greatest glow ups I've ever seen on a streaming service. I'm serious. They got stuff on there I had no idea was on there. Like Netflix, I pay for Netflix, and I feel like I'm not getting the usage out of it the way Tubi got it, and it's free. They got great stuff. I've gone back and watched a ton of stuff from my era, especially when you start talking cartoons. Sometimes you just pop back in real quick to see if it was like that, if it was just a theme song or if it was really a good show. And it's like, like, it's like, okay, so I get your feelings about New Jack City. My thing is, it's crazy if we talk about the Harlem trilogy, because if you look at the three of them, the two bookends get so much credit in terms of like style, soundtrack,
Yes.
super memorable characters, etc., etc.
Right.
Even though Sugar Hill is the best technically of all of them, and it's the one that gets
Yes.
talked about the least.
Listen, first of all, I always say my grandmother would call him Mod Squire, Clarence Williams III.
For sure. If you
Um,
need a weird nigga in a movie, that's the one.
this ain't the Terror Dome neither. You understand what I'm saying? Clarence Williams III, right, was legendary as Romello Scud's pops. You know what I mean? This is my schoolboy haircut. We hit that last when they sent him on that last ride and he hit that woo. You know what I mean? Ray Nathan Scuds, boy, listen. Sugar Hill is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, but it's almost so subdued. Like it's like they went into this. We gonna make a film. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we gonna make a we really gonna try to do. We gonna really try to do some Scorsese type stuff. And the thing is, it's almost so good, but for the time period, it's like I feel like the time period demanded that stuff be so loud. They didn't know how to accept that film the way it should have been accepted. Like people will say it's good, but I
Mhm.
guess because it's not so in your face, loud about certain parts, it don't get the same love, even though it's a great film. Like go
Yeah,
out of your way to.
I think it's that real hip hop. Like it's just it's art. So it's not gonna be the commercial beast. It's not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be good art. And sometimes good art just needs to exist, right? And that's fine. We as consumers, like sometimes we'll claim like, oh, we love the art of it, and I love that if there, it had so many messages, and you know what I mean. And I didn't need to have a fun halftime show. I just wanted it to be artistic and get all the Easter eggs.
Sure.
That's fine, right? Um, that's it's the difference though, right? It's we all remember New Jack City as this thing, this wonderful thing that we had an amazing time with, and we remember the trailer for Sugar Hill, but Sugar Hill is the art, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the how just things go in general. What was so the thing that's important that you mentioned earlier was the soundtrack to New Jack
Oh
Swing,
yeah.
right? New Jack Hustler, Sex You Up, Calling Me Bad. Now, for me, I was in school. I'll never forget that year that, not to go necessarily into whatever grade it was, but we took a trip. I'm in Maryland, but we took our New York trip that everybody in a certain class took every year. You know, we get on Staten Island Ferry and all that, but all the way up the road,
All right.
n- my pops was, you remember Shadow Henderson in Mo Better Blues,
Absolutely.
right? Um, my pops was that. He would go into Kent Mill Music, Waxy Maxis. These are well known DMV record stores, and buy those the CD cases that was in the long boxes or whatever.
Yep.
My pops was early tech adopter, so he had all the CDs. Day they came out, he in there spinning a good grip of bread, and I would reap the benefits of that. Pops always burning me that 90-minute max up of the 90-minute TDK tape of all the stuff. So all the way up the road that week, New Jack Swing, New Jack City soundtrack, man. Um, can you give me your Mount Rushmore of soundtracks?
Oh, just movies in general. Like
Mhm.
in God. Oh, you evil, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Cause
yeah, 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 a little bit.
cause my
You know what I
thing
mean?
is, especially with my love of film and my love of music, I
Hmm.
love the way that I can watch I can listen to a song and completely envision the scene that's going
Hmm.
on at any given moment. Or
Hmm.
I will stop a movie dead in its tracks to find out what this song is that's playing in the background or whatever it is. The two just in you. Um the kid in me is always gonna pick the original, like fuck what you heard. The first Transformers movie was made in 1985.
Oh my
Like Galvatron and Hot Rod and all that other stuff like that. That
Rodimus
Vince
Prime.
Nicola, yep, that Vince Nicola, like Stan Bush, all that other stuff like that. It was straight 80s, just yeah, man, we're gonna do it, rock. But it was so good. It was so good. Like that entire soundtrack, Transformers the movie. It is amazing. It is
Hmm.
still on my workout playlist. You got the touch, all that stuff. It is top notch. Um, that has a slot. It ain't gonna go nowhere. That's just what it is. Man, this about to
And
be
it's
a
only
great.
four. It ain't five. It's Rushmore, so it's
I
four.
know. I know. Even though they trying to add a fifth, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't. That's one executive order we will not allow.
If
We
they
will
gonna
not
do
allow.
it,
We will have to fight over that. We'll have to
oh
fight over
man,
that. That can never happen. That can
that'd be
never
the
happen. I just want you to know that
craziest.
right now.
It's
Like,
like just, it won't take long. Just a little artist, a little
you trying
dynamite
to
TNT.
you are trying to slap a bumper sticker on an amazing, beautiful car. If you talking about adding a fifth, we I know we got some dents and we got some things in it, but you are fucking up the entire car if we do that. I'll go on record with that. So we've got that. We've got
So let's.
gotta
Okay, go ahead.
gotta do it. Hustle and flow.
Oh, it's hard out here.
That's an entire mood. Like not just the two songs that everybody knows from It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp and Whoop That Trick. But
Get him.
that's just a strong album top to bottom anyway, as far as it goes. That's a great little piece of business. Um we got that. We've got um when I feel like really being on some just all up in the dome, all up in the dome stuff right there. Believe it or not, the soundtrack from Inception.
Chris Nolan. Okay.
Hans Zimmer, I believe, on the deal. And like it's got that amazing song Time on there, which is just everything. Like you hear that, I feel like I run through a brick wall. Like that's awesome.
Okay.
And then my last one it's between two, and I gotta find out which one of my children I'm gonna leave on the side of the road because this is rough.
We allow honorable mentions here, but get busy.
Gotta go with the Mo Money soundtrack.
So Boomerang was the other one. Am I right?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. Because Mo Money
go
and
ahead.
Boomerang, I remember back to back. But keep going. I'm sorry.
No, Mo Money not only is just a top notch soundtrack from top to bottom. That's
Yes.
got one of my favorite MC Light songs ever, Ice Cream Dream, on that joint. Smooth and rich and goody goody. Ice cream dream. Yeah. Excellent.
That was if I remember correct, is that right after the Amber movie edit? Amber, come here, Amber.
Keith Hadding told me that joke. Hey yo, the way I would not the way it took her having to lose her damn mind for me to let Stacey Dash go, because that's the first time in life that I ever laid eyes on her in that movie.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
Hey y'all, read that one. I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry.
like,
The culture.
no. This is hold on. Let me readjust my camera because we talked. Hold on. I gotta Bernie Mac this. America, listen, especially Black America, a certain segment of Black America. Look, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this one too.
I like it. I already like it.
Stop. We gonna see where we go with this. Sometimes we fall in love with eras of a person, and we understand that we're not gonna be able to reclaim that person in the way that we thought, but we hold on to the memory of what was with that. I'm not saying in the present it's gonna be like we just again everything full circle. Y'all still trying to hold on to Wayne like it's Carter 3 Wayne, and it's not. It's not. That's done. You can love and respect that era, but you're gonna have to respect what it is now. Kanye West, huge building block in my life from the very first album all the way to, I would say, probably maybe Donda. Maybe Donda. Like I know some people are back and forth about Donda. Obviously, he has done some very insane shit over the past few days. Didn't take
Very
long.
goofy. Very goofy.
I mourn Kanye West. To me, Kanye West died after Donda came out. Now,
Kanye West died in a TMZ bullpen. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Which I respect. Now, this Ye fellow that we seeing right now, the one who came out with vultures and all this other stuff, and his teeth he looking like Jaws on James Bond and all this other stuff like that. I don't know that man.
What a goofy.
I don't know that man.
Legendary goofy.
How Kiki say? I could see him walking down the street, and I wouldn't know who that man is. I'm sorry for. Matter of fact, I'm not sorry for that man because he's a whole Nazi, and I can't. I can't rock with that. Kanye West, I will mourn that man forever, and I think he was a mad genius. Yay, I could give a fuck about him.
Yes, say.
So I say all that to say there was a point in time there is nothing I wouldn't have did for Stacey Dash.
Oh man.
Like if Stacey Dash was like, you got to give up wrestling. Yes, ma'am. Let me go ahead and burn these boots so we can be happy. Whatever it takes to make you happy, darling. Whatever.
Burn these
you have
boots,
to understand
baby.
something. Prime Stacey Dash. A little movie called Clueless. Everybody else was playing close to, if not their age, and Clueless. How you 30-something playing a high schooler and you better than the people in that age bracket and look better than people in that age bracket. Like look like you could have been 18 when you made that movie.
Listen, all respect to Big Meech, Little Meech, all the Meeches. All respect to Samuel L. Jackson. Stacey Dash is the original BMF. Listen, when she was shorty and fresh, she was on Fresh Prince and the limo and all this and giving niggas rings.
She was. Bad. All falls down. And remember, everything connects. Everything connects.
She took the glasses off and there was one little right tear. Come on. That might have been the last. Like, yeah. Yeah.
And obvious. And hold on. And you know how the connections get deeper and deeper. Mm-hmm. So of course, our two subjects that we talk about that lost themselves, like we love who they was, but we got to understand where they at now. Stacey Dash and Kanye West. And what was the song they was on? It All Falls Down. And we don't reach the falling down portion of the song. For both of them. I mourn who they were, but like, time to move on. Time to move on.
Y'all can go ahead and move on. Never mind.
Right, so if you say, hold on, no, you gotta answer a question for me now. So no consequences in a parallel universe where you are a single man, and we are in the same setting where Stacey Dash is out there talking, because remember she tried to cozy back up to the black community after all that stuff had happened, and she tried to get all that back. So if she came to you and she said, "Hey, fam, save me, I want to come home, and I want to come home with you,"
I would get a cape, and I would change my name from Fam to Captain Save a Hotel.
That's one of those scenarios where it's like, look, I don't know if I would have did it, but I understand. Like with that kind of pressure, I understand. Like, because I ain't never had that kind of pressure in my face. You know how people be. It's like, well, I wouldn't have did that. Look, you ain't never been faced with that kind of pressure. That's why you don't know what you would have did. It's easy for you to talk like that. You ain't never been in that kind of pressure. Ain't never had no pressure like that.
No, and nobody, and that's the funny part, right? Is all these tough guys, nobody succumbs to the pressure. Nobody. Everybody would have stood on business. Right? Man, my shoes wasn't that strong, baby. I'm gonna take these off. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna sit down.
What did Chris Rock say? He said, if it's chasing me, I can't run that
That fast, I cannot.
fast.
Listen, I really think integrity is cool.
Yes, of course.
Integrity is cool. And it's all fun and games. But in fictional situations, no one needs integrity. Let's just have the fun.
I'll say this: integrity is a huge part. It's a very big thing. I think everybody should try
Oh.
to have their hold on that. But I also think self awareness is huge. Sometimes you just got to be self aware. You got to know your weaknesses, man.
Mhm.
You just got to know. Like, I'd rather you just be honest about what you can and can't do at the end of the day, and be self aware than trying to act like it's gonna be this or it's gonna be that when it's all said and done. It's like, listen, some of y'all are folding like the y'all are folding like construction paper in an art project. If Stacey Dash is like, I need you.
Hey, origami can be beautiful.
Not Stacey Dash with sorry, I'm doing crossover lines now. Not Stacey Dash hitting you with the monsters ball. Can you make me feel good? Can you make me feel good?
I mean, sheesh, pressure.
I'm a wholesome black man. I can't say. All I can do is just make the face.
I'm not so
That's
wholesome.
it.
I just usually don't say everything. So
moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about options, whether to do the right thing, one of my favorite movies, or
Classic.
not, right? So it's these. Do you like Andre 3000?
He is undisputed, despite not having a clear solo rap album. He is my undisputed number one favorite rapper ever. Like top of the tops, Mount Rushmore. And for the record, every argument that I've ever gotten into, like,
I like this.
So I want to be very clear when I say this. It's not that I hate Eminem. I have a ton of respect for his talent. No, I mean it. I have a ton of respect for his talent.
You know what they say about everything that you say before the word but keep going.
But I can't stand Eminem's fan base because they act like everything he do is the greatest thing since the last thing that came out. Even though he's had his share of stumbles and he's got his things that can be talked about, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, even for you Eminem stands out there, when we get in arguments about why Eminem is not in my top 5 or why he's not even in my top 10, and how could I have Andre at the top of my list? For Eminem to jump on a song and say that of the 4 or 5 rappers that he's concerned about, one of them is Andre 3000. That should let you know everything that you like. What I think it was like Soldier or Till I Collapse, because he mentioned 3000, Biggie, Nas, I want to say Pop, and maybe Dre. I might be misremembering it. I don't remember the song. I don't remember that song that well. But like, you don't carry that kind of blanket respect with rappers if you ain't like that. And he's so good at it. He's so good at it. Like, so good at the art of rap. Like, he's a hell of an artist just in general. But he's so good at the art of the rap, it's boring to him. Like, oh, let me just hop on a Walk It Out remix real quick and just kill it just to see.
Leave Earth.
Yeah, let me just show up. Let me just show up on a random mix that didn't even need me. Let me just go do this Soulja Boy song real quick and kill this real quick and then disappear for like 6 months or whatever it is. He's the greatest to ever do it. And it bores him. And then when I found out his reason for not doing a solo. was wild.
Um, I have a theory that I've never shared.
Okay.
I feel like Andre will never put out a rap album again for the same reason that Eddie Murphy will not put out another stand up.
Oh, I like where this is going. Go ahead.
That monster of what if is way too big to contend with.
Sure.
It's like, how do you live up to that? Right? And then you have to remember, what specifically in hip hop, black culture, but like hip hop, like what things actually lived up to what the hype was, right?
Especially especially if you gave us a classic and then it's been so long until you give us something again. Because Nas, not to bring up another rapper,
No, but this
Nas
is the
was
only
cursed.
person I knew who lived up to it.
But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nas was cursed with having a debut that was so classic.
Mm-hmm.
He even though he had a ton of strong albums after that, he still was chasing the shadow of Illmatic.
So here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing with Nas, right? And we're deep in the woods, right? Deep in the weeds. Nas followed it up. Nas followed Illmatic up with a flawless album, right? God dang, what is it with if I ruled the world? Oh gosh,
Hold on, I'm
why
about to
can
look
I?
up his discography now. I'm
I'm
about to look
drawing
up the discography now. But I'm pretty sure. Hold on. You said if I ruled the world and whatnot. I think that.
Is
Hold
this
on.
on the
No,
second album?
I'm messing that up because I'm thinking of the world is yours. My fault. You
No,
talking about it was written?
It Was Written is a flawless sophomore album. There isn't a bad song on that album.
But even then, they still compared it to Illmatic, and Illmatic was perfect.
They did. So yes, that is the consensus. I also think that album was better. The second album, It Was Written, was better. There was a better order to the second album, and it was more polished. Right? Doesn't make it a better album because it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the best 2 album runs in rap, and I feel like if Nas wasn't bootlegged, the album that we got as a bootleg for I Am and Nostradamus that ended up being 2 mid albums could have been one of the best 3 album runs in hip hop. I think we got robbed of that with Nas.
I can give you that.
But
I can give you that. But that debut was just such a monster. It's like it wouldn't have mattered what he put on after that. Like
you can't live up to
it's
that.
Like that's what I'm saying. And he had to fight that shadow for so long for a while until it kind of came back around. Like I like that people are reevaluating Nas now in the new era.
Well, Nas did something though. Nas did something on the back end of his career where, especially, in the age of the aged MC and hip hop kind of aging, is he did something in the back end of his career that it started with when he put out that Life Is Good record after he divorced Khaleesi. And they was like, oh, wait. Nas still can Nas. You know what I'm saying? And then waited a few more years, and then the magic and the trilogy at the like Nas put out some of the best consistent music in his career 2 years ago. So Nas, I feel like, stamped his himself as one of the greats with what he was able to do at the beginning, but then come back around. I can't say at the end of his career, but at the current state of his career,
still show that he has something left in the tank.
Well, but we also get to see just seasoned Nas, right? We get to see effortless Nas. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
thought like this stuff that we've gotten the last few years has been. I don't even got to try, and I can do better than 90% of these folks.
And that's kind of the beauty of the situation, because he lasted long enough where if you look around at his peers,
Mm-hmm.
for a second, it's like, um, they say what's old is new again. But if you look
Mm-hmm.
around at his peers, they're not coming at it on a level the way he's coming at it and still relevant. When it's
Mm-hmm.
all said and done, it's like a lot of his peers either died off or diminished or ain't really like that no more. And Nas is like, he's looking around at the kids, and the kids are like, all right, y'all all right. You know what I'm saying? But like this
Mm-hmm.
is what I do. Like, this is my lane. This is what I do. And he's killing
Mm-hmm.
it. As for Andre, his reason, I think, that he mentioned before, it's funny that you brought up Eddie Murphy, because it's similar to what Eddie Murphy said. What do I talk about? He said if I was gonna come out at a solo album, it's like, he said the time for me if I was gonna do that would have been, and like, way back. And then he said, like, for that time frame, I couldn't believe this when he said it either. I think he said that he was very like very shy, like very
Mm-hmm.
timid. That's why he liked the group rap setting, because it's like I don't have to carry all the weight by myself.
Yeah.
Um, but for some reason, it was just easier for him to do like a Love Below, or hell, even give us a flute album, as opposed to trying to go and just do a solo rap album. And he said, especially now when I think about it, he's like, I'm this old, I got kids, I got all this other stuff like that. What am I about to rap about? What I sound like rapping about this, that, and this, when that's not even my life no more.
Right.
And I still think it would be great.
So, all right. My favorite rapper is a gentleman from North Carolina. A great deal. Folks may not be familiar with a guy named Fonte from a group called Little Brother. Right.
Hey.
And I like Fonte's music because he says stuff like, um, you know, goes to his pop's funeral, um, chilling with his wife and children, hit the repast and ate the same that killed him. Right? Same man says, I want a girl when I want a girl, but I don't want a girl, and I want a girl who understands that. Like, for me, in the era I'm in now, as a man, a father, a husband, I have way more perspective than I have ever had as a person now. I have more
Mm.
gifts and game to give right now. So when they say, what can they talk about? Ed Murphy got double digit children. The amount of experience, the people he's worked with, the things he's seen, it's infinite. You have millions of stories. When we started this very podcast, you came in and said, yo, I have a story for that in your career. Even the portion pre-world title that was the journeyman era,
Mm-hmm.
you got stories. You have stories. You have perspective. Insight and entertainment is the phrase I love to use consistently when it comes to podcasting, because we've done this before a lot of these folks came through that door and do the same thing that we do and talk to the same people we talk to. But what makes the conversation more compelling is that insight and entertainment. As someone who's ran the roads and done all sorts of things, as a world champion later in their career than a great deal of world champions, you're still doing things that folks have yet to do and yet to experience. What is a world champion has been different for you, and what gems do you have to give so you don't end up in your Andre 3000 period where you're too intimidated by the weight of being good to
Wow,
go out and keep getting it done.
I was not expecting that flip. Okay. I will say this.
What did I say before we
And I
started
think this
recording?
is something that everybody kind of experiences what you're talking about, and everybody tackles in varying degrees. Um I don't care who you are after a certain amount of time, whether you are Andre and you approach it the way he approached it, you're Eddie Murphy and you approach it the way he approached it, or you're Nas and you approach it the way that he approached it. You get long enough in life where you start wondering if I were to try to still give an effort, or if I were try to kick you this, or if I were to try to give it this hard push that you're asking for. Some of y'all ain't even asking for it. But I'm not ready to let it go, right? Would you even care? You know, when I hear Eddie Murphy talk about the stand up thing, he's racking his brain so hard because he's like, I can't do Raw again. I can't do Delirious again. So obviously, I would talk about some different stuff. But there's always that question in the back of your mind. It's like, if I took away all that stuff and of course, I gave this version of it, it's like, is it going to be good enough for me to throw out there for y'all to consume? And no matter what my effort is, that's the Nas parallel again. Are you still trying to hold me to the standard of Illmatic? Even though it's all this time later, are you still trying to hold me to the standard of something that I cannot be? See, everything comes full circle. Are you still trying to hold me to the standard of something that I cannot be anymore? I can't do it the way I did it before. I could do it like this. Hopefully redefine it. Hopefully give you a new shape, new insight, new sound. And this is a shout out to Darius Lockhart in a way because I remember we got to talking about something and I was expecting this conversation to go very differently. And he laid into me, but from a place of love when he said it. He was like, man, he said, there are just sometimes I can't stand your promos, like the interviews that we do in wrestling sometimes. He's like, it's just sometimes I just can't stand your promos. And I'm like, you trying to say I'm not nice with it? Like it's like another rapper be like, man, your bars be frustrating me or something. Like, the fuck are you trying to say? It's like I can talk, like I can talk. I know what I'm doing. He said it's not even that. He said there's sometimes I listen to your promos and it's like your opponent don't even have to say nothing about you because half the promo is you dumping on yourself, and then you got to spend the other half of the promo trying to convince everybody why they should believe in you. And I don't know. I used to laugh. That was a bit of an 8 Mile defense. Full circle, Eminem again. When I said 8 Mile defense, an 8 Mile defense is basically you point out all your flaws and put them on the table before somebody else can do it. That way, they don't have a chance to be able to say that. The problem with the 8 Mile defense is sometimes there's flaws that people weren't even looking at, and you've put them out in the atmosphere now. So now it turns into something where it's like, oh no, I wasn't even thinking about that about you, but now that you said it, damn, I guess you are, this, that, or whatever it is. It's like, okay, that. So, before it even got to a point where I got the title and I kind of had to start having a reevaluation of myself, he was like, man, he said, you act like you not this, you not this, you haven't done this, you haven't done this. Yeah, you've had stuff that hasn't worked out in the past and everything like that. He's like, but I think you so focused on what didn't happen for you or what people say should have happened for you or what you thought success should have looked like that you're not paying attention to how you've inspired what you have done, what the bricks that you have put in certain buildings. Does it make me feel a little old sometimes when I go to certain shows and there's cats that are like, man, I remember watching you on Chikara DVDs, and like sometimes when I was watching Indies, you was the only black dude that was on the cards. You know what I'm saying? But but you was all so real, or you so funny, or you this, or you was working. It's like it made me want to go for those places, and it's a reflection of how much time has passed. But I don't trip about that. I don't get in my feelings about oh, I'm getting old or this, that, and the third, because I don't feel old. I take care of myself. I'm out there doing what I got to do. I'm still hanging. I joke a lot with a lot of the younger cats that like to make them unk jokes. I'll be like, man, we can get out there in that ring right now. You know, and
Oh.
you go 30, you want to go 40, you want to go 60. I say, I guarantee you gas out before I gas out, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is, I got worried for a long time about do I still fit? Am I a relic? I've always told myself I don't want to be the vet in the locker room that stayed too long. I don't want to be the vet in the locker room that anytime, Connecticut, New York gonna call. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville gonna call. I gotta stay ready. Even though I had my third knee surgery, but I'm gonna tell you that I gotta get that thing because they're gonna call. They're gonna call. I stopped worrying so much about the call, and I just started worrying about just like, you know what, you got to get back to doing what you do, how you do it, and just have a good time doing it. And it it's still a shock and surprise to me sometimes that like this is this. Trish and Johnny Bruh and Fight did everything in their power to make the world aware of this so we can even get it to a point where if somebody holds this, you are a recognized world champion without having to be on somebody's television program or having to sign this. And that means whoever comes after me and the person after that and the person after that, that's a designation that they can have that's important, that matters, that goes to magazines and this, that, and the third. And when you ask me what that feels like being in that position, it's a different kind of pressure in the fact of I have to be mindful how I carry myself in the locker room. Not that I wasn't thinking about it before, but it's like now I have to be ultra mindful about it. I have to be ultra mindful about what I say. I have to be ultra mindful about how I conduct business and what people say about me and my relationships with promotions and promoters. And when I got youngsters that are looking at this and it's like, one day I want to hold this or I want to challenge for this. I have to set an example. And it's not just in the ring, but it's like, if you say that you're going to make the date, like, I had the conversation with them. I didn't realize that I took the fight date, but then I didn't realize when I took the Black Wrestlers Matter date that's a 12-hour difference. It's 12 hours just to get to the first one. And then I think it's like 11 to 12 hours to get to the second one. But I made that promise. I said I was going to be there. I'm representing a brand. So it's on me to make sure I do everything in my power to make sure if I said I'm making a date, I'm making a date because you are a world champion. These are the things that you have to do. You don't make the excuses. You handle your business. You make solutions. I'm very big on the idea of even on an independent level, you still have to hold your standard because even independently, you are still a professional. It don't just start becoming professional because you sign a piece of paper. I think people have seen the video kind of just dropped. I still have to look at it myself. But we got Khan from AEW, fight alumni as well too. He challenged me. And he's got a whole contract, and I know in the promo he's talking about this, that, and the third about being AEW talent and all this other stuff. Look, I have no knock to anybody that has signed a contract and they're doing their thing on TV or what have you. Congratulations. I hope that's working out for you the way that it's working out for you. What's not gonna happen is this thing where the indies are lesser. If they were so lesser, we wouldn't have the 5 major companies. Correct me if I'm wrong. You got WWE, you got AEW, you got TNA, you got MLW, you have I feel like there's one more American and I'm not trying to be shady. I'm just trying to think. You got TNA, AEW, WWE, MLW. I guess we would say NWA. And there's the stuff overseas and everything like New Japan. Am I missing anybody? I'm not screwing up, am I?
No, you good.
Okay. All right. So let's add New Japan. Let's say 6. So of the 6 majors, Hell, and sometimes they get in on the act too. But of the 6 majors, 5 of them still want you to will still let you work the indies. So if the indies didn't mean anything, you wouldn't see so many TNA guys or AEW guys or MLW guys trying to get on the same shows that I'm on. So you're not going to take a payday on a show that I'm on that I'm responsible for being a draw and upholding and promoting the brand of, and then also say that we're lesser too. Is it hold on, it all connects. Is it Uchiwali or is it one Mike?
Hmm.
I'm a world champion. And the thing is, I'm proud of that because I'm a world champion without the label. I did platinum without the label. If you get
Hmm.
what I'm saying, I didn't have no marketing team around me. I didn't have the industry people or whatever it is. I earned this, and I went off the beaten path to get to this, and that's crazy to me. And I spent a long time wondering if it was even worth it to keep going when I didn't put no pen to paper, and I'm so glad I did because it's been rewarding. And if nothing else, I want me staying in this to prove 2 things to anybody. One, as long as you healthy and you have a vision of what it is that you're trying to do, you should pursue and you should keep going because you never know what's around the corner. The other thing is stop trying to do it the way that they've told you to do it for the longest time. There was once upon a time that they told us if you worked hard and you got your college degree, you was gonna make 6 figures and you was gonna be able to get a house and all this other stuff like that. And we see in our regular everyday economy, it doesn't work like that. So now when you start talking about the professional wrestling business, or you talk about rap, or you talk about all this other stuff like that, um, you know, there's guys that have ended up getting to the label or the promotion, but they were already big before that. They just decided that's what they wanted to do. I don't
Correct.
see myself in a position to ever get that, and that's fine. But I'm past that point of people making me feel bad or like I'm lesser or I didn't do something of importance because I didn't. I am doing something important right now. This is a title that has gone state to state. It's going
Mhm.
across the world. We're creating relationships. We're creating connections. I want to see the day where us as talent don't have to be in a position where, well, if you want to get signed one day, if that's what you choose, if you want to get signed one day, you gonna have to stop doing so many of the black indies, and you got to go work the ones that, you know, hate to say it like that, you got to go work the white indies. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to work one of them, like one of them to get seen or whatever it is. I can't wait for the day that somebody gets signed because um a major was watching our Shay.
Mhm.
And they probably already are. But I'm
Mhm.
waiting on somebody to be like, I got discovered through Ashe. I got discovered through Naptown. I got discovered through Fight. I got discovered through such and such. We deserve that and we're owed that. And I'm paving the road for that. And there's gonna come a time. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional about it, but I honestly don't know how much time I have.
Mhm.
I've been done 3 times and I still kept going. And I don't know what it looks like for the rest of my career. Blessed every time I get to take something new, and I'm still healthy and I still got something to give. But as long as I've got something to give, um, it's on me to make sure I'm doing everything in my power, example wise, match wise, promo wise, uh, being true to who I am wise, so that when I am done, I want to be able to be done. And if somebody decides that they want to be, I just want somebody to be able to say, hey, if I was a top guy on the indies, I was a top guy. And that's fine.
We talked about earlier, specifically with New Jack City, that
Uh-huh.
it's more important sometimes to be important than to be good. The combination is where things get special. There's a um there's a picture from Royal Rumble weekend. Um, I like to call the Vanguard,
Okay.
right? 4 champions in the ring at once,
Oh man.
right? And these gentlemen here do something special for what we're talking about. Um, this ain't WWE, AEW. This is, and we've seen folks these places, but these gentlemen, these championships, y'all on the front line of something that is important and is going to quote unquote move the culture in this form of entertainment forward. Can you talk about what that photograph was and its importance?
I didn't realize just how important that was until it hit the internet.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't realize that because you're seeing how people interact with it. And I didn't realize what that was doing for so many people. And I literally just got off the phone with him a little while ago. I told him I had to get off the phone because I had to prep for what we're doing right here. But again, Darius Lockhart. I'm very big, and this is a offshoot of a conversation that I had with Effie. We don't get to talk as much as I'd like, me and Effie, but that's because we're both busy championing something that we're not going to be able to champion the way that we want to inside of a corporate infrastructure. Because Effie is flying the flag that he's got to fly for LGBTQ and making those ways and making those opportunities and bringing light to that so that they got their spaces to be able to do what they got to do and magnifying those. And I'm doing the same, I feel like, in, just black spaces or beyond that. Like, I just call it good wrestling at the end of the day. But if you want to call it black wrestling, that's fine. It is what it is. It's just good
Yeah, we
wrestling at
we
the end
call
of
it
the day.
we call it Black Wrestling every Thursday, 35 Live. Keep going.
But the point I'm ultimately trying to make when I'm saying all that is you get a lot of people online who get very upset about demanding, again, like we'll take New Japan out on this one, the Big Five, demanding that the Big Five, like, where's Montez's push? Why do we only have 4 black WWE champions? Why, this, that, and the third? Like we looking at this, and it's like, I get it. I understand it. They have the most bandwidth out of everything. They have the easiest ways of getting viewership. Um, we often sometimes think importance is based off of size, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And the thing about it is, and I'm finding out through film a lot, having all these different streaming services, because it opens up avenues that you normally wouldn't be able to get at a regular theater. There, I promise you, is something out there for you. And if you're not getting it from these bigger places that you like, why won't you just do it? Why won't you? They don't have to do it. They're big in their own way, and of course they're growing or whatever it is, but they don't have to do anything. Meanwhile, WWE in total has had 4 black WWE champions. And meanwhile, you get 4 different flavors of black champion in 4 different promotions. And the thing is, they're all representing something different. I mean, like, if you want bougie and snobby and, on it, but talented, you got Darius Carter. You want a brick house that's laying shit out and beating the hell out of people, you got Isaiah Broner. If you got somebody with a little bit of experience, a little bit of weirdness, he's trying to give you a total show, technical mastery, all this and third, you've got myself. And to me, Myron Reed is one of the greatest finds, and I'm not just saying that as a former tag team partner and somebody that has not only feuded with him, but like been like family with him in this business. But like, Myron Reed is the prototype of, and I mean this lovingly when I say this, he's the prototype of the YN in wrestling in a top spot. Like, I love everything Javon Evans is doing in NXT, but they're still letting him simmer in the pot and and do what he got to do. Myron Reed is a proven top guy at a bunch of companies right now. And he is the age, mentality, style, everything of what's popping right now, like in rap, in that kind of style, in that age bracket, etc., etc. And that's not something that they're giving you in any of the promotions in the spot that he holds. And meanwhile, he's a top guy. And y'all are wondering where this is at, and it's right there. Like, I'm not telling you to stop watching what they got going on or disconnect from that, but let's not act like it doesn't exist. And that's my big thing right now as an independent. It's like, I'm not insulted, but I feel like you could be doing better for yourself if you expanded your reach just a little bit, because it's out there, and I promise you it's out there, and it'll get you inspired.
Can I say the thing that you can't say?
What's up?
The thing that you can't say is that fans, you got to stop being lazy, right? Stop being lazy and do your no, because listen, I work too goddamn hard to give people options, right? They love Monday nights, they love Wednesday nights, they love Friday nights. They don't like Saturday nights. Sorry, AEW. Listen, they love what you give them. The problem is you don't go out and look for what you want. You complain that the pizza restaurant that you keep going to on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday doesn't have a great burger. Baby, go find a burger. That's all that Brother Suge is trying to impress upon you, folks. Is this a burger out there? But y'all want it from certain locations.
You know the example that I gave Darius flat out, because I'm gonna come up with an analogy.
I like it.
It's Myra and it's Laura. Myra was everything that you needed, deserved, should have had. Like, but because you placed in your mind that it's not worthy or important unless it's coming from Laura. And even when Laura throw you a scrap or a bone, you losing your mind. It's like, oh my God. It's like they pushing that one black dude, they pushing one black dude, or they taking a chance on one gay wrestler, or they letting women main event one night or whatever it is. It's like, oh my God, this is so good. You'll take the bare minimum because it's labeled as important, because you placed it as important. But meanwhile, you got somebody that's your wavelength, that is all about you, that arguably is better than what you over here chasing, but because your mind is placed on this is what's important and it's not going to matter unless it comes from her, you completely ignore what's going on over here, and that's what's going to make it happen for you. That's what's going to make you happy, but you chasing this. And I had to learn from personal experience in my own career. I had goals that I thought were going to make me goals that I thought were going to make me happy. And I had to find out how much that wasn't adjacent with me before I really realized what is making me happy. And now I'm out there trying to protect that. So, like I said, we're in an era of choice right now. Somebody's doing what you want. Like, and I don't care if it's wrestling, it's music, it's movies, it's fashion, it's whatever. Somebody is doing what you want. You owe it to yourself, especially in this shitty ass world sometimes, to put in the effort. I mean, you put in effort for stuff that you don't want to do every damn day. The least you can do is give yourself some effort for something that is good for you to finally get what you want. And to me, for everybody that wants that little bit of something different and demands something a little bit different from wrestling, and just strictly talking about wrestling now at this point, it's out there for you. Go get it. Go get it. It's there. I promise you.
The concept of the best isn't real. Like, unattainable. It's based upon metrics from several people, which means that guy's favorite cannot be that guy's favorite, cannot be that guy's favorite, so on and so forth. Because it's not real. You know what's real? Favorite, right? Because you can't dispute what your favorite is. So chase what you want, right? Chase
Okay.
what's the thing that's built for you. Because if you keep chasing the thing that was just built at the biggest level, you're always going to be let down. Now, let's come down. The best, of course, is always known as a world champion. Bro, you are the second person to hold that title that you are holding.
That is correct.
Per some. Not everybody would say the same thing. There is a different version of that title that I've seen.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Right? I've seen it walking around. It's the shout out to Andre Ben. It was the prototype. That's just my favorite Andre song.
Yep.
But it
was
evolved.
like if we talking Iron Man terms, it was the Mark One. It was the Mark One.
Okay, I like it. You have a literal, pardon the pun. You have a fight this week, man. Sunday. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this, you know what I mean, in the future, you missed it. I'm sorry. I got my front row ticket already. I don't care what y'all niggas want to do. February 16th, 3608 Legion Drive, Cheverly, Maryland. Be the Negro League. Fight Club. Andino and Suge D. I mean, are we considering this some sort of unification? Are we getting the prototype out of here? Sorry, John Cena. Are we getting the prototype out of here, or is this a unification? Or you know what I'm saying?
Hell of a reference. You bad with it. You bad with
it. I told you before we started. I told you where I was before we started. I promise you.
Yeah, shout out to Ron Bass.
Shout
out to Ron Bassman, UPW. Okay, look, let's put this Andino situation to bed. Andino was running around here, and my thing is, that's a fault. That's a fault on both of our parts. And when I say both of our parts, Trish and myself. Let me lower this so we can have a discussion here. You know how sometimes your parents get busy. They get real busy. It's like, work got them doing all these extra hours, and they doing this, and they got to be here. So they're not showing you the attention that you need to get. So you start acting out. And Dino is acting out in the sense that because I guess the parents aren't home and they ain't showing the proper attention that they do. He's the man of the house now. So I don't know how he got his hands on the prototype, but he did. And it was a slap in the face of Trish because Trish was at a very big crossroads in her life because, she's trying to make defenses, but then she's trying to break over into this next level. She's, there was a lot going on there. And, we saw ultimately what it ended up in. She New Japan in it, AEW, ROH in it, all this other stuff like that. And she will always have my adoration and my love, and I want everything for her, and so much more. I still don't think she scratched the surface of everything that she deserves or everything she should have, but that's another story. I was so worried about chasing. She was so worried about holding while still trying to evolve into this next state of her that nobody was checking Andino. So when you don't get checked for so long, it must be okay. And after a while, you start believing your own hype. Obviously he got knocked down a peg because of, losing the Chocolate City Championship to O'Shea Edwards. Like, probably one of the hardest opponents I've ever had. Like,
I was there.
Still shocked I survived that match. Like, he gave me a Mahomes beat down. Like, most of them, sir, ass beatings. Like, it was rough. My thing when I saw Andino lose the championship, and I'm not one to laugh at another man's misfortune. I do think it was karmic, and the thing about it is, I said what I said at the last show because for as much as he lost, he didn't lose enough yet. And me putting in the mileage that I've put in, me having the battles that I've been in, me being in the rooms that I've been in to be anointed by Teddy Long and Ron Simmons as man, you are a champ. Like, dude, one of the realest feelings in the world to me was having that match with Caprice Coleman at Ashe and coming to the back and Ron Simmons being there to greet both of us at the end of it. You know, after of course he showed us love, but he left before that we got in there and everything. And he's like, you know, Ron got that. Like, let me say this about Ron and Teddy, not to get off track, but let me say this about Ron and Teddy. Sometimes the wrestler voice that you hear out there ain't the wrestler voice that you hear back there. And I got so scared that Teddy Long wasn't gonna sound like how he sounded when I met him I was so afraid I was gonna go up to Teddy Long and be like, "Hey, sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. My name's Suge." And he'll be like, "Hey, hello, young man. Theodore Long. Nice to meet you," or whatever it is. So it was such a relief when I went up to him and I said that. He's like, "Hey, what's going on, man? What's happening, man?" And I'm like,
What's happening, player?
and then Ron being Ron, that would have killed me if I had found out all these years. I get to the back and it's like, well, you know, actually, like it would have been like, I didn't know old buddy Jerome from Snowfall sounded the way that he sounded.
Oh,
That killed me. You know, like what he said, well, you know, that's a hell of a part that we're playing and everything. I said, Ron, like, don't let me down. But we get back there and he said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now that's wrestling. That's wrestling what y'all got in there doing. I said, not only is he saying that he loved the match, but he said right with a damn R on the shit. With an R on the shit. That's how I know we did what we supposed to do.
all right. Do one more time. I'm gonna say the thing that Suge can't say. We are all glad that Ron was a real nigga. Keep going. I was in the building that night too, man. They were very they were who we expected them to be.
Yes.
Shout out Ted was like, nah, I think you got to play. Listen here, player. I think we supposed to take $25 for that picture, player. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, but no, you're good. And I just love that they were showing love to what was happening in the new school and stuff. But I say all that to say, I didn't have that. I didn't get that anointment. I didn't get that nod. I didn't bust my ass. I didn't have these moments of imposter syndrome when even after I got the title, where it's like, am I the guy for this title? For somebody else to be running around and acting like he's that when he's not. Like, he hasn't had to go through or have the odyssey that I had, and you trying to claim it off of something that never was a real thing. Like you claiming the prototype of something and not the real thing. So yes, when my match was over, I challenged him. And yes, when I challenged, you know, after taking a nice little ass beating from Grim. And yes, I also asked that when he showed up. Like, I don't know what it is about fight. They throw them at me, man. Like, they throw them at me, dog. It's like I think Johnny just wants to remind me sometimes, like, hey, now you know we got some hitters out here. I know you've been running around, but you know we got hitters right here, right? Let me remind you. But I say all that to say, you know, it's put up or shut up time at this point. Yeah. Like, I know he's at a low point right now. I know he's gonna pull every trick out in the book. I'm not gonna sit down there and say Andino hasn't stepped up in a major way. Even during the midst of this or whatever he on. But now you make a claim for something that is mine, that I am holding, that I am defending, that I am fighting all these battles on all these different fronts to try to hold on to. Like, you know, we just talked about it. I literally got somebody coming through from ROH and AEW declaring that he's going to take something from me. I'm fighting a lot of battles on a lot of different fronts. But what I'm not going to make the mistake of that I have in the past is not paying you the attention that you deserve. All my attention is on you, Andino. Don't get me wrong. I got the whole Myron thing, but my attention is on you because there's not going to be no false claimers to what it is that I busted my ass for. Not a one. So either I'm going to leave with everything or I'm going to leave with nothing. But I need that up off you. Because I don't even want you to have the prototype of that because you're not even worthy the way you've been moving of the idea of what it was, let alone physically being able to hold it. So I've said in my mind that I need the Killmonger variant of that title because it's the black and silver and all this other stuff like that. So the way I see it, we're going to go to war. I don't know what you're going to bring to that war. I hope you got something that I'm not expecting, or I hope you're prepared to be in the kind of mood where you ready to just, I'm not gonna say kill me. That's trite. You know, people talk about like, you're gonna have to kill me if you want to take this from me. Like, you know, nobody's getting a homicide. The commission's there. Nobody's trying to commit a homicide in the middle of the ring. But you are gonna have to debilitate me. You are gonna have to put me in a position where I'm gonna be on the shelf for a few years. I know people at my age, they talk about, you know, it's harder and harder to come back from stuff if you get hurt. So maybe it might be in your best interest to try to hurt me to the point where the match has got to stop, and then that's got to end my career. Like, that's what you're going to have to be on, and that's the time you're going to have to be on if you're going to take this from me. Because I've always said it's going to be the most worthy that's going to take it from me. Because I know there's going to have to come a time. But I know you ain't it. You talented, but you ain't it. I need that up off you, man. And then when I get that up off you, on top of the Chocolate City title that you already lost, and you already got your boys all around you questioning whether you like that or not as a leader, then you have my permission to be sad. Then you have my permission to start questioning what you got going on with your career, or if you should just go away. But until then, I need you to make your dates, and I need you to be healthy, and I need you to go to training, and I need you to make sure that you're at 100% because I don't want no excuses. I need to beat you. And again, I need that up off of you because this is about cementing the road that I walk on. And I'm going to step all over you to do that. And I need you to understand that.
So you talking. Listen, first of all, if you're able to get that secondary title or the other version of that belt, I'm gonna challenge you for that belt, but we're not gonna have a match. We're not gonna have a match. We're gonna have a joke session, and the winner of the joke session get the.
Yeah, stop making me laugh right now. Like, look, this is serious business we talk about. You over here, you trying to have alternate rules for the Killmonger variant. Like, that's what you're saying.
That makes sense, right? For the secondary belt, have secondary rules. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's very DDT of you. Like, the craziest match that I've ever seen, and of course it's in Japan when this stuff happens. DDT literally had a match called a I think it was a Fire Pro death match. Like, you heard of Fire Pro Wrestling, the video game, right?
Yeah. They had the heaters and the coolers.
Literally had a Fire Pro. They had a Fire Pro death match. Both wrestlers got their whole entrance to come down to the ring. And when they got in the ring, there was a setup with a PlayStation with Fire Pro Wrestling there. And then they broadcast the match from Fire Pro on the big screen for everybody to watch. And I popped because the heel was mind fucking the baby in the match by playing as the baby in the match and busting out all they moves. I was like, this is the greatest. This, like, imagine coming to work that day and being like, all right, we got to, because you hear death match and immediately it's like, but it's like, no, but it's a Fire Pro death match. We're gonna pay you, we're gonna pay you to play video games in front of everybody.
I mean,
in my gear, where do I sign up?
God dang right. God
I'm
dang
going on
right.
tour.
Listen.
I'm going on
So
tour.
so please beware. You know what I'm saying? Once you, depending on, how things in that night. First of all, I have my front row ticket already. I promise y'all. I promise y'all I'm going to be in the building. And I ain't gonna be alone. I'm gonna have some of my people with me. Bro, you win. Listen, listen, I got a whole beautiful setup in here that needs some accoutrements, some heavyweight titles that I ain't got to fight for. So that being the case,
Hey man, don't be pulling no Dolph Ziggler on me. I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. He gonna hop the ramp. He gonna hop the rail. Nah.
what'd you say?
Oh,
Listen. I promise you, there are folks that have had several interviews with several people. Shout out to the homies that have done, really good work out here. Muscle Man Malcolm,
yes.
Sir Wilkins. Shout out to all the guys that y'all know their names. I'll run Suge and I having a conversation against Van Leet. What's the crazy kicker from Indiana? Any of these niggas that are interviewing people consistently, these conversations.
You out here calling out Pat, not Pat McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. You know what I mean? Listen,
Yeah.
listen. Every interview that we do here with the Black Rasslin Podcast is filled with insight and entertainment, man. We do this. And we do this for y'all. Brother Suge, before we get out of here, two things. Um, First of all, I am a huge fan of going out and just sitting around. I get there early. You know what I mean? You see me at the beginning of the show. I ain't no just come and wait for the blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm there early. I love the environment of fight. What is it about fight that's kind of different? Because you've been all up and down the road.
Of course.
What is it about fight that kind of sets it apart from different places you've seen?
So I mean, the biggest thing about fight is the energy. I mean, I know people love, especially online. Dear God, they love to get into commentary about well, such and such drew this much in attendance, and this, that, and the third, and everything like that. All right, look, that building ain't the biggest building in the world.
Mhm.
I'm very much I'm very much about and don't get me wrong, just because it ain't the biggest building in the world don't mean it don't be packed out every time. My
Mhm.
thing is I'm big on energy. Like I've been to concerts with 60,000 people and it's been flat, and I've been to house parties with 60 people and it's been the greatest time in the time. And what separates it is energy and what's going on. There is a palpable energy in that building from the moment the show starts to the moment it ends. They appreciate good wrestling. They are there to see a show and to enjoy a show and to take a ride. And to me, I feel like the best promotions when you have a roster that recognizes that, they feed off of that energy and they go out there to try to match it, if not exceed it. Some of my favorite matches and some of the best matches I probably had in the past few years have been in the middle of that ring. It's
Mm.
modest. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I guarantee you what we're putting together. It's like, to me, when you go to a fight show, that's like you could go to that fancy restaurant and pay like $175 a plate and this, that, and the third, and it's like it's all
Mm.
right. Like you go to say that you win and it's all right, and then sometimes you will find a spot that's like it's small, it's local, the food is banging. Everybody knows this. It's like you really got a waiter that will really tell you what's popping on that menu or whatnot, and there's nothing like it when you find stuff like that. And when you talk about like that DMV, that flavor of wrestling, that's what fight is. It has an identity. It's a very real thing. Um It's never a waste of money when you go. And I've never seen somebody that's gone to a fight show and been like, I had a bad time. I had a terrible time. I'm not feeling it. Like, how could you not? So I'm hoping that you're in the building. I'm hoping that you're watching however that you can watch. You need to know how special this is. And this is exactly what I mean when I say, I know what you're seeing on TV. I swear to God, it ain't nothing like going to an indie show. It's nothing like it.
That's a fact, man. Before we get up out of here,
Yeah.
Sunday. 3608 Legion Drive, Cheverly, Maryland. Doors at 5. Bell at 6. I promise you I already got my ticket. We have Chocolate City champ O'Shea Edwards on the card. I believe Eel O'Neill is on the card. Billy Dixon, Saul Esparza. We got the fight, the inaugural fight tag team championship tournament. I've
Long time
talked to
coming.
all 6 teams. They have been dropping all week. Bro, I've been working. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a fun time, man. I hope to see y'all out here. In Cheverly. Suge, how can the folks get at you on social media?
Oh, before I give my plugs, I just want to say that not to correct you editorially or
Oh,
anything
pardon me.
like that, but you forgot to mention O'Shea's opponent, question mark man.
Mm-hmm.
Like question mark man been across like all sorts of indies and everything to that effect. His finish is the period with a T at the end and everything like that. This might be one of O'Shea's hardest yet as far as it goes. For parts unknown, you don't know what
Parte Odune.
question mark man. You don't, and that's Maine, like Gucci Mane with an E at the end. Question
Is
mark
that
Maine.
Gucci cousin?
They don't like to talk about that because
Oh, why?
some
He did that
drama.
time.
And then of course Gucci Mane with the charges and all that. I had to tell you that offline.
All right, shout out to you. Shout out
So
to you.
as far as I'm concerned, at Sugar Dunkerton on the Twitter box, at like it's so sorry. Sugar Dunkerton for show. FASHO. That's the way it's meant to be said. Shout out to my boy Omar for show.
For
Sugar
sure.
Dunkerton for show. Yes, there it is. On Instagram. Yes, I'm on Blue Sky. It's chiller over there. I kind of dig it. You can find me over there, Sugar Dunkerton, of course.
I'm gonna try it out. I'll be over there.
It's not like I recommended you a restaurant spot. It's a Blue Sky. Okay. You're the third person that told me about that. I gotta ride by there and see what they got going on.
Yeah, I already made reservations. You know, I just ain't never chilled over there yet.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Sugar Dunkerton. Listen, like y'all be asking me about shirts and I'll be moving around and all this other stuff like that. I'll get back to a point, I think, of selling shirts live at the shows. But a lot of those shirts and those old school designs and all that other stuff that you asked me for, they're literally at that website. Like, just go buy one. You know, my PayPal hits me and everything. I appreciate it. It goes to me.
Okay.
I know when that PayPal ding, it can only mean one thing when that happens. So please. And the only other thing that I would love,
if you're looking for a new design, I know a guy.
Okay.
I know a guy.
Okay. Then I need you to DM me that. Only other thing that I would have to plug, honestly, and it's not even me necessarily. Look, there is no guy that you like without the indies. And even for the guys that don't do the indies and they make it or whatever it is, guess what they're watching to get all their move ideas or to, slide some stuff or get some stuff going? The indies. So, like, it's necessary. It's needed. Again, because I like to do the wrestling rap analogies. Yes, the label has its place, but the essence of what we do is in the cipher. And one of my top 5 ever, Q-Tip, and I'm literally living that lyric. You would find me in the cipher if I didn't cop a deal, and that's all I do every weekend is be in the middle of the cipher. The funny part about what's going on right now, and you see it in rap all the time with the major guys trying to get the cred. You can sign a deal and you can sell a whole bunch of records and you can get a whole bunch of views and this, that, and the third, and that's fine. But deep down in every performer's ego, every performer's heart and ego about this. They want the validation and the respect. So the even funnier part about all this is they return or they look to earn the respect of the cipher so that they can feel validated in what they are. Because MC Hammer sold millions upon millions of records, but he did not have the respect of the cipher, but Nas did. So all I'm saying is before those types that starting with the well you're nothing because you didn't get signed, or the who jokes. I love those, like the who jokes and everything to that effect. Who isn't always an indication of somebody's reputation. Sometimes it's an indication of how closed-minded you are. Like, you know, there's fashion labels that some people just never have heard of. That means, like, of course you've heard of Gucci, but there's some labels that don't even have names that cost more than Gucci that you wouldn't know of because you're not in those circles. All I'm getting at, what I'm saying is, there is important things happening on the indies all the time. There's something that you love on the indies out there, and the beauty is indies are everywhere, all around you. You'd be surprised where they are, in the countries that they are, in what they're willing to offer you. So let's stop making it sound like this is a terrible thing or it's a hard thing just because it's not something that's on major television. We're giving you what you want. We're out there for you. Come dive in the pool with us. Get weird with us. The water's fine.
Amen. Talib Kweli is definitely better than Vanilla Ice.
Plus, we got cool belts out here too. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
she bad, ain't she?
Yeah. If you had to give her a name, and this ain't even a question. What's her name?
Ngazi.
Do that mean something?
Ngazi is African. Ngazi is African for gift from God.
Okay.
And the name is personal life thing, but the name is from someone that is dear to me. But I think it fits. Like it fits both the person and this. So it fits.
That's amazing, man. I knew a young lady that had a beautiful name like that had a meaning. It was a sister from back in the 90s that I met. Her name was Alizé. The name meant 2 for 20. I am IlFam79 on your social media choice. And we'll see y'all next time, man. Peace.